Hello students, myself Somrat Pal. Today I am going to demonstrate the topic on three-phase half wave converter with RL load. Okay. So before going into this topic, first we are going through the circuit diagram. This is the circuit diagram is given here. See this circuit diagram, we are using the three switches or thyristors, that is T1, T2 and T3. As it is a three-phase converter, that is why we have given a star connected three-phase supply here, and we are adding a highly inductive load to the load terminal. And this is the waveform, the three-phase signal. As we are using the star connected signal, that is why in case of the three-phase signal, the phase-to-phase voltage signal difference is 120 degree. That is why this is a three-phase signal is there given. Okay, so suppose phase A, this is defined by the phase A signal, like this one is the phase A. Okay, and phase B, suppose this is a signal which will be start from 120 degree apart from first phase. So that will start from this one 120 degree from the phase A signal. Again the phase C, it will be started from the again 120 degree apart from the second one, that will start from this point. So this is the signal for phase C. So to make the complete the cycles, it will coming from this point and it will be coming from this point. So this is the complete pattern. It is a complete pattern for the sinusoidal three-phase sinusoidal signals. Okay. Now that means this signal is applicable here. That means phase A, in which is connected the first switch, phase B connected to the second switch, and phase C connected to the third switch. And now see, when we are trying to demonstrate the rectification operation, see, when T1 starts conducting, then the current starts flowing from phase A to T1, then load, then coming back to the neutral point. Similarly, when T2 will be fired, then the current starts flowing from phase B, T2, then load, and then coming back to the neutral point. Similarly, it will be happen for the phase C when the switch T3 will be triggered. Okay. Now see all the cases that when the T1, T2, T3 will be triggered after few time, then the current starts flowing to the load and the voltage appearing across the load both are same. See all the cases the current is flowing across the load in the same direction and the voltage appearing across load, that is upper one is positive, lower is negative. That means what? During operation it can provide the DC, but in the input part we are using AC signal. But as the direction of the current or voltage remaining same for the load terminal, that means it can convert DC. So this is rectification operation. One more thing, as I have said before, once we are using the inductive load, so during conduction the inductor will charge, and when the switch stops conducting, then the inductor try to discharge. So first consider one thing, when suppose T1 will be fired, then what happen? Then the current starts flowing to T1 to load. As the load is a highly inductive load we considered, that is why then the inductor starts storing energy inside it, and the polarity of the inductor will be opposite to respect to the supply voltage, as it can produce the back EMF. Okay. Now see, when T1 remaining in off position, then what happen? then the inductor try to discharge. And as we know, the inductor charging and discharging path both are same. That is why when the inductor is completely charged and during T opposition, the polarity of the inductor will be changed, then the inductor try to discharge in this way, right? In this way, inductor try to discharge. That means the both case during charging and during discharging, the inductor current remaining same. But during charging, the inductor polarity is positive, this one is negative, but during discharging, it will be positive, it is negative. That is why it can cover two quadrant operation, which is depicted on this figure, is a quadrant operation. So when the thyristor T1 will be fired, then the current starts flowing in the forward direction, as well as the voltage appearing across the inductor is supposed in forward direction. That is why it will cover the first quadrant operation. But when the T1 starts discharging, then the current direction remaining same for the inductor charging and discharging path. That is why current is positive during discharging of inductor, but the voltage appearing across the load is negative. That is why it will cover the fourth quadrant operation. That is why due to presence of highly inductive load, the operation can cover two quadrant. Okay, now go to the operation. Before going into the operation, we first understand what will be the triggering pulse we should apply for the switches. See, that means T1 is connected to phase A, right? T2 is connected to phase B, and T3 is connected to phase C, right? Similarly, the waveform is given, supply voltage waveform is given here. Now consider when T1 will be fired. It will not start from 0. We consider the firing angle should be given after pi by 6. What does it mean? It's very important part. See, in this particular region, 0 to pi by 6, what happened? See, VAN is increasing from 0 to a particular value, and VCN is decreased from its upper value to lower value, and VBN are in reverse biasing condition. Means the negative condition is there. That means what? So forget the part VBN. So we should taken care of the two phases, that is VAN and VCN. So before pi by 6, all the cases VAN always less than VCN. Okay, that means it can be also reflected on the diagram. That means VAN means this is the voltage, that is VAN. Okay, this voltage is appearing across the thyristor T1, but 0 to pi by 6, all the cases VBN always less than VCN. That means what? That means all the cases the across the thyristor T1, it will be more positive. This will be more positive, means this part with respect to this one, as we consider this VAN less than VCN during 0 to pi by 6. That means we cannot fire the thyristor at this particular region. Okay, but consider after pi by 6. After pi by 6 means I am talking about this region. See, when after pi by 6, at the point pi by 6, then the supply voltage VAN is gradually increases and VCN is gradually decreased. That means what? Then in this particular case, just crossing after pi by 6, what happened? Then the voltage VAN will be greater than the voltage VCN. Then the polarity of the switch T1, it will be positive, it will be negative. Then the switch is under forward biasing condition. Okay, that means we can say thus T1 should be fired after pi by 6, not 0 to pi by 6. That is why, because 0 to pi by 6, all the cases, the T1 will be in reverse biasing condition. That is why we should apply the firing angle after pi by 6. Same thing can happen for T2. So T2 will be triggered after 5 pi by 6 and T3 will be triggered after 9 pi by 6. See all the cases. That means we should consider whenever we try to giving the triggering pulse across any switches, we must taken care of this matter. The respective phase voltage should be greater than with respect to the others. Okay, then we can apply the triggering pulse as the switches then will be in the forward biasing condition. Okay, that is why after T6 phase AN is greater than phase CN, then we can trigger T1. After crossing 5 pi by 6, then the phase B will be greater than with respect to the other phase, then we can apply the triggering pulse to the T2. And after crossing 9 pi by 6, obviously the phase C will be greater than with respect to other two phases, then we can apply the triggering pulse across the switch T3. Okay, that is why we are applied the triggering pulse for T1 this one, for T2 this one, and for T3 this one. Okay, so this is the actual thing, the selection of the firing angle. So that means in case of the single phase rectifier, we consider the firing angle from 0 to a particular angle, but in case of the three phase rectifier, we should give the firing angle after pi by 6. That is why we can calculate the firing angle after pi by 6. Okay, now the operation is very clear. That means when the thyristor T1 fired, that means what? Then immediately the current starts flowing from supply to load in this way. That means when T1 fired, then the supply voltage is immediately reflected on the load voltage. Similarly, that can happen for the next phases also. When T2 will be triggered, then the current starts flowing in this direction. Then the supply voltage phase B, which will be reflected on the load immediately, and remaining the T3 will be same. That is why when T1 starts conducting after giving the firing angle at the point of pi by 6 plus alpha, then T1 starts conducting. That is why this is the voltage appearing across the load. That will taken from the same shape for the supply up to the next triggering pulse is given, that is pi by 6 plus alpha to the next switches. That means in this particular region, the similar wave shape we have drawn here and which is taken from the supply voltage. The similar application can be done for the next switches onward. Similarly, this blue phase of the BN is similarly will be reflected on it, and for the next phase will be reflected on it. In this way, it can in this way we can have the output voltage across output terminal. Now the three currents are there, that is IT1, IT2 and IT3. Because what? Suppose we are going to form the current appearing across the load. See, go to the waveform again. Now see, when T1 starts conducting, then the current is flowing from this way, right? So I0, that is from T1. So I0, that is from T1. Next, IT2 starts flowing when T2 fired, right? Similarly, when IT3 starts flowing to the load when T3 fired. That means all the cases I3, that means IT1 plus IT2 plus IT3, that will give you the actual output current, right? That will give you the actual output current. That means go to the diagram, the same thing is happen here, that is IT1, right? This one IT2, okay, this one, and IT3, this one. So summation of this current. So first we consider when IT1 starts flowing. When the T1 starts conducting, then the question for IT1. Okay, that is why when T1 starts conducting, then IT1 starts flowing. It's very easy to understand. The similar thing can happen here. That means in this particular region T1 starts conducting. That is why this is the concept of IT1. Similarly, when T2 starts conducting in this region, then this is the output waveform of IT2. Similarly, for IT3, that will be again reflected on this axis, right? And as we know, that is I0 equal to summation of the three currents. This is I0 equal to summation of the three currents, IT1, IT2, IT3. That is why if we are going to sum the waveforms of IT1, this one, plus IT2, this one, plus IT3, this one, that is why it will give almost a DC current across the load. Okay, so this is all about for the rectification operation. Now, as it is a rectify operation, that is why we should calculate the RMS value or average value. Okay, so go to the next part, that is calculation part. So this is the calculation of the average value calculation. So average value calculation means that is VDC, that is equal to 3 by 2 pi. What is 3? That is the number of peaks in a complete cycle. Integration of this part and this part, what does it mean? Integration of confined region means the peak which is confined by a particular limit, and this is a voltage expression. So it can easily understand, go through this circuit. So we are going to calculate the DC value of output voltage. So this is the output voltage terminal, output voltage waveform. So suppose think about this particular region, right? So in a complete cycle means it will start from 0 and it will end from the 180 degree. That means in this particular region, how many peaks are there? That is 1, 2 and 3 peaks, means these 3 peaks. Okay, that means the number of peaks are 3. And in a complete cycle, any one peaks, suppose think about this peak is confined in a particular region, this duration, that is, this point is pi by 6 plus alpha, and this point is 5 pi by 6 plus alpha, right? That is why we can calculate the average value or the DC value by using this equation. Okay, so VDC equal to 3 by 2 pi, number of peaks 3 and the complete cycle 2 pi, integration of confined region as the output that will be reflected from the input, that is Vm sin omega t, and the confined region is pi by 6 plus alpha to 5 pi by 6 plus alpha. Okay, so this is the formation of the equation for average value. So it's a simple simplification form, just sin omega t, that is do the after integrating sin omega t, we will get minus cos omega t, right? Similarly, this step has done, then we can put the value of upper limit and lower limit, then the equation will be take this form after simplification. That means this is cos A minus cos B. We know the formula, that is 2 sin A plus B sin A minus B. Okay, sin B minus A. So putting this formula, we can have this expression. Okay, after simplification, we will get the different form of expression. This one 3 Vm by 2 pi 2 sin pi by 2 plus alpha sin 2 pi by 6. So ultimately, after simplification further, we will get the appropriate result of DC output or average output. That is 3 root 3 Vm by 2 pi cos alpha. Okay. Next, so now we should calculate the RMS value. So RMS value means root mean square. The similar thing has done here, that is the RMS value. So that is the similar expression we have chosen here, that is Vm sin omega t, and the square part is there, and the same limits, that is pi by 6 plus alpha to 5 pi by 6 plus alpha, and number of peaks is 3 in a complete cycle, that is taken from 3, and the complete cycle means that is 2 pi. So after simplification we will get the result, that is, as the sine term is there, that is why multiplied by 2 and divided by 2, that will give you the actual form for easy calculation for the integration part, that is 1 minus, in this step, that is 1 minus cos 2 omega t, cos 2 omega t. So after integrating we will get the result that is reflected on this step, that is 1 means omega t and cos 2 omega t means 1 by 2 sine 2 omega t, considering the limit which will be reflected on the next step by using the limit, upper limit and the lower limit part, then put the value of the limit, and further calculation or simplification will get this result. So in this way, just see the all steps I have done here. Ultimately we will get, this is a simple means integration part, we will get the result that is equal to root 3 Vm 1 by 6 plus root 3 by 8 pi cos 2 pi under root. So this is the expression for the RMS value. So that means we have done the operation, we have calculated the DC value means average value and RMS value.